Okay, so, oh gosh, I have to come with you with love and compassion because it's the right thing to do, so I will. I understand the faith community because I am also an aspect of the faith community. I am the faith community. I still go to church because I love the feeling of grace, and I love when the children sing and I can feel the power of the energy of the angels who just commune into that space and amplify that light, even though most of the people there probably aren't seeing it. But I can witness the change in them when the voices of children go up and the blessings come down. I can witness it, and I can feel energetically how it blows through the room. And if I talk about it like this in a church, they'll say, yeah, she's a little bit cuckoo, but you don't understand the blessing of a God consciousness, of God, of universe, whatever you want to call it, okay? How powerful it is. And I'm only here to speak about this now because I think you miss my messages, people of faith. Some of you, not all of you, but some of you who are still stuck on one construct. And okay, you also despise me using the word construct, but allow me to just speak freely, will you? And don't judge the words that I'm saying. Just feel what I'm trying to bring forward to you. So I've opened up my inbox and I've opened up access to my to one of my WhatsApp because I know that there are many people who are flooded with so many questions. There's so many things in your mind, and there's so many decisions you have to make, and you feel as if you have to seek outside of yourself. And what I do mostly is teach people how to feel within themselves, because you deserve to feel and trust your own heart and trust the guidance from your internal GPS, from your own intuition, from your own guidance that is always with you. Do you understand? And because of this, I won't say I get a beating, but somebody said to me, you get a beating with these emails and with these messages for people of faith, because they're thinking that you're spreading not false messages, but your messages are not of God, because when you do your videos, you don't say God and you don't say Jesus a lot. And please understand that most of the messages that I give is for the world. It's not for one sect. And I choose not to say God many times, because the minute I do, the judgment comes out immediately. What denomination are you? Okay. And what is your message? And no, you should not have used it in that way. And you shouldn't have used that text in that way. And the judgment comes out. And what I find is, in the convolution of all of that, the message gets lost. Do you understand? So because of that, I made a collective choice within myself, and the messages that flow through me, whether it's coming from my intellectual being, from my soul, or from my guides, right? I made this choice that I will not be a part of spreading propaganda, spreading fear. Even in predictions, I don't speak about them in that terms, and there's so much. And I hear many people who speak about that, and they are in their right to do so. Please understand that they are, because if you receive it, you should be able to give it, and they freely do. However, I've chosen not to speak about predictions, like, okay, give you the probability of, my gosh, this vision that I received in this particular day, in this particular timeline. Why I don't choose to do it is because I can feel, and I've been shown how energetically fear causes us really to go into the direction we rather would not choose. But because we don't understand how much our energy feeding into darkness, feeding into fear and doubt, and the expectation of yourself to hit rock bottom, or your country or your estate or your industry to hit rock bottom before you choose the light or choose to shed light on things. Because of this, usually you do witness, experience, and feel cataclysmic events in your life, in your country, and on the planet overall, not because it needs to happen, but simply because you chose to witness things and enlighten yourself only when these things happen. Do you understand? And because of that, I choose not to add to that, because I realize if I can just show you the effect of you adding light to a situation, it simply makes a prediction a probability, because now I am able to stand in my truth and my power and choose these predictions that they speak about, do I want to witness and experience it in that magnitude they spoke about it? Or do I now choose to get on my knees and pray and meditate if I meditate, or simply be as I am without the modality of any religion, any culture, whatever it is, just within my humanity of a state that I am, and simply send love and healing and clarity and guidance? How can we deflect this? So it may still come, but it may not be as catastrophic as it would have been if we did not add light to the situation. That's point one taken. Point two, talking about, I understand about the atonement of sins and everything that we've been taught in the Christian faith, but we must remember the aspect and the assignment of Yeshua is so passionate and so close to my heart, because this being does not want to be revered. And I apologize for saying this, because many people are going to go, and I might lose another 100 or 200 or 300 when I say this, because it might hit you with a ton of bricks. But don't allow it to hit you. I want you to feel into it. There were so many messengers who chose to come here. Some of them were sent. Yeshua walked this sacred path that is something that I will never forget. And he walked this path not alone, but he walked this path to prove to you of how much your choice of adding light into a situation, despite the aspects, despite the volatility, despite the situation, the geographical location, of how much your voice and your heart, the energy of love that you want to give to humanity, can spread. That's the main message that Yeshua brought. And the atonement of sins is so important, because we needed that within the Christian faith. But there's so many other faiths who did not have that, but they still have love in their hearts. And I have to be compassionate to that also, not putting anything in anyone's face, but please know that when I speak, I come from absolute love and absolute peace and joy and happiness, because I have the aspect of all these beautiful ascended masters, especially Yeshua, on all our teams. It's not just on your team. It's on everyone's team. Everyone who's ever gone through something that's volatile, who's ever been ostracized, who's ever been judged, has the essence of Yeshua flowing through them. And all the other beautiful saints and messengers. And yes, I understand, and I stand with that. But I'm not ready to speak of all the stories and everything that I've learned from memories and from communing with these beautiful angels. And I understand, I have so many people of faith who are saying to me, how dare you say Yeshua and Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael in the same thing? You shouldn't. I apologize that you feel this way. And I would have felt this way 6 years ago too, or longer. But what you need to understand, when you are contained to the physical body, the story is what keeps you going. And it's very important for you to hold on to that. Don't let it go. That's what withholds your faith. But I want you to understand, from my perspective, I have graduated from believing in the fake constructs to knowing beyond a reasonable doubt. Because remember, I almost died. People say I had a near-death experience. I did not die. If I died, I would have gone through that big archway where the Crystal City was. My grandmother never allowed me to go there. I just simply had an awakening experience through almost dying. That's what happened to me. And when I had that, I saw, felt, knew, and remembered that which I am. And I remembered the connection with Yeshua, and I remembered the truth to the stories. And I came back understanding the main messages. We are all one and one all. And that to go to the Father, you go through here inside internally. It's connecting with your heart space, understanding that that person over there, although they've never heard about the Christian faith or whatever the faith is, and they may have never heard about the atonement of sins, but through me they can feel the love of Yeshua or Jesus, whatever name you want to call. Because through your actions, through your rapport, through the words that you speak with compassion and not with judgment, they can feel the aspects of these great masters, especially Yeshua, who spoke with such grace and such mercy and no judgment, such compassion, and never judging anyone for what they did, simply allowing them to meet God exactly where they were, not telling them they need to be washed white as snow before you can go. It's about your heart and how do you feel, and if you're ready to surrender in the moment right now, God meets you where you are. And not convoluting the word God to say, you're only allowed to say the word God if you are with this faith and with this denomination, and if you speak this way. Because I was taught that Yeshua was a father, but on my NDE, Yeshua is a brother to me. And so many don't understand it, and because you don't understand it, you judge it, say she's saying something of the devil. Feel the messages, will you? I only speak from my own experiences and the beautiful things that I learn now from having so many communication and sessions and talking to so many other human beings who represent so many other assignments that other souls had to carry out on this beautiful planet of love and grace and reverence and peace. We all have a part to play, you know. Allow us to play our parts while you play yours. But try to add light and not judgment and more darkness, because we really don't need more darkness on this planet. Don't you see what light does? Don't you see how it strips away on the dark places and allows people to start to feel peace where peace never was? That's the overall message. Not trying to point fingers and say you did this wrong or you said that word wrong. Feel. The love of God is beyond words, you know. That's why now you're experiencing so many other beings who don't have words, but you can feel nothing but the love of God through them. And you wonder, oh my gosh, I feel so loved when I'm around this child, and this child can't speak, because God proves to you that my love is beyond words. Words are something that the construct that you came up with to communicate. But the love of God is just being who you are. And somebody can feel, wow, I feel so much compassion and light coming from there. And it's about you witnessing someone else in their own grace or struggles or whatever it is they're going through, no matter where they are and from where you stand. Allow the grace of God, the grace of Yeshua, the grace of all these beautiful masters to be the essence that flows through you and send healing and love to them without uttering a word. That's the message. Try not to miss the messages with trying to follow text to text, word to word, because when man writes stories, there are many things that gets missing because they don't get to witness everything and they don't get to feel everything. But you are in a pivotal time where I ask you, remember the first time I started to find embedded imprints within the Bible, just very subtle imprints, and I realized, oh my gosh, that's not right. And I used to start to judge it. And my guides immediately say, no, you did not come back from an NDE to judge. You came back to document and witness it and shine light on the whole aspect of faith and allow faith to redeem itself into the light and not keep shoveling itself into darkness and mud and muck, and allow the freedom to evolve that Yeshua wanted to evolve from grace and from mercy and from faith. And be very aware of every story in all these sacred texts, because what you miss is within the stories, it proves and it shows beyond a reasonable doubt that there was an ethereal sense of assistance. There was an ethereal being, or let's say boots on the ground for these individuals in their stories, in your Ruth moment, in your Yeshua moment, in your Joseph moment, all these stories in the Bible and all these other sacred texts. Focus on the stories and focus on their overcoming, and witness that they could not have overcome it as a human being only if they did not have support in an ethereal source, in an ethereal realm from angels and guides and God that was not contained in a box. God just simply who wanted to support a human being on their journey, because it was simply a spirit having a human experience, and they needed the support to take them through these what I call soul lessons, because they needed to learn how to evolve or how to come forward as they were being prepared for their mastery of grace and faith and holiness. Feel the messages. Don't try to convolute anymore. Feel and shed light into all these areas and stop separating yourself. Don't you understand? The walls in these mansions are tumbling, not because it's to hurt you or bring fear. It's supposed to unite you. If we tear all these walls down in all these mansions that the angels showed me, that we have separated ourselves religiously, culturally, all these different sects that we've had and said, this is mine and I own it. When you finally tear the walls down, imagine the party of oneness that we'll have to realize, oh my gosh, you don't look like me, but I sure feel your love and joy and happiness and peace. Oh my gosh, you don't speak like me, but wow, I feel God there too. Wow, you don't even have words, but I feel God there too. Oh my gosh, you're going through rehab and healing, but I feel God there too. Feel and allow your light to shine. That's all I'll say on this matter. I will not try to attempt to explain myself in any way when it comes to Jesus, the atonement, my faith. My faith is what got me here. And I am now boots on the ground for God, and nobody, absolutely no one, will change this. Because I'm not in a box anymore, y'all. They took me up from outside that mansion all the way up to witness. I will observe. And when I observe, I will speak with happiness, with joy, with compassion, with the ushering of change. That's all. Love and light to you. And may the grace of God continue to serve you and to give you clarity and healing and peace and joy in your hearts, because you so do deserve it. And allow your cloudy lens to simply be cleaned as white as snow, for you to not just perceive the world as something happening to you, but to perceive the world as creation that you are. In every thought that you hold in your mind and every judgment that you choose to shed, allow you to create an absolutely beautiful world that God, uno, one beautiful source of love, really wish for you to experience. And with that, have a wonderful day.